are consist of a basic unit that is called as cell, and that's why आवाज येतो ना माझा? आवाज येतोय? ठीक आहे. Cell is nothing but the fundamental structural and functional unit of life. सेल हे लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझमचं फंडामेंटल स्ट्रक्चरल पण युनिट असतं आणि फंक्शनल युनिट पण असतं. दिस टर्म सेल is derived from a Latin word that is cellula, and the meaning for cellula is small compartments or a chamber or a hollow space. This word cell was first of all introduced by scientist Robert Hooke during the year 1665. 1665 मध्ये रॉबर्ट हुक नावाच्या सायंटिस्टने सेल हा वर्ड सगळ्यात पहिल्यांदा यूज केला. ही रोट अ बुक मायक्रोग्राफिया, एक मायक्रोग्राफिया नावाचं पुस्तक त्यांनी लिहिलं, and in that book he first of all used the word cell. Then how Robert Hooke discovered cell? So he found the cork under his own invented microscope. आता कॉर्क म्हणजे काय असतं तर कॉर्क इज नथिंग बट डेड बार्क. ही डेड बार्क असते. बार्क म्हणजे झाडाची जी साल असते ना ती, त्यांनी त्याच्या ओन इन्व्हेंटेड मायक्रोस्कोप म्हणजे स्वतः डिस्कवर्ड केलेल्या मायक्रोस्कोप अंडर त्यांनी ती ऑब्झर्व केली. तर ही गॉट honeycomb like many polygonal compartments. त्याला अंडर मायक्रोस्कोप हनीकोम सारखे कंपार्टमेंट्स पाहायला मिळाले. हनीकोम्स म्हणजे आपण ज्याला मधमाशांचे पोळ असं म्हणतो ना, मधमाशांची जी पोळ असते त्याच्यावरती असे छोटे 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 असे होल्स असतात आणि त्या एका एका कंपार्टमेंटला टू these small compartments he used the word that is cell. Actually the live cell was first of all observed by scientist Anton van Leeuwenhoek, the name of another scientist who first of all saw and described a live cells. He examined semen that is nothing but a part of male reproductive system, then saliva, blood, and insects. He also invented his own microscope and reported cells such as human sperms, bacteria, and RBCs. Then after Anton van Leeuwenhoek, inside the cell there is presence of a dark spherical body, and that is nothing but the nucleus. It was first of all observed by scientist Robert Brown. Means you have to keep in mind cell first of all discovered by scientist Robert Hooke, then live cell first of all observed by scientist Anton van Leeuwenhoek, And inside the cell, there is a dark spherical body is present that is in the form of nucleus. And that cell is nothing but the basic unit of life, that is nothing but the structural as well as a functional unit of life or living organisms. There is one branch for the study of cell that is called as cytology or cell biology. Then what is this cytology or cell biology? That is the science which deals with the study of structure, function, molecular organization, growth, reproduction, and genetics of cell. Means under cytology, you have to study about the structure of the cell, the function of the cell, how cell organized, means that is consist of what type of cells, then how cell going to reproduce, and what type of genetic material is present inside the cell. So for that, you have to study a branch that is nothing but the cytology, or it is also called as cell biology. Then next come for another point, that is cell theory. It was proposed by scientists Sladen and Shawn during the year 1838. Sladen was botanist who first of all observed plant cells, plant tissues, and proposed that they are made up of cells. Then another scientist, Shawn, he was zoologist who observed the animal tissues and proposed that all animals are made up of cells. Shawn also proposed that in animal cells, there is presence of an outermost boundary of cell, a covering of cell, that is nothing but the plasma membrane. And the explanation of both these scientists, that is Sladen and Shawn, is considered as a cell theory. And according to both plants as well as animals, they are consist of cell. Means you can keep in mind that cell is the basic unit of plant as well as animals. It was first of all proposed during the year 1838 in cell theory. Then another scientist was Rudolf Virchow, who first of all explained that all cells are derived from pre-existing cells. Means old cells can produce to the new cells. So this was explained by scientist Rudolf Virchow. After that, during the year 1888, a name of scientist was Waldier, who suggested that inside the nucleus, presence of hereditary materials in the form of chromosomes And on that chromosomes, the hereditary units are arranged in linear fashion. These are nothing but the genes. Then cell theory suggested some of the points, proposed some of the points. That is, all living organisms are made up of cells. That's why cell is nothing but the basic structural and functional unit of life. Cell contains the genetic information which is passed on from cell to cell during cell division, means that is from one generation to another generation. And all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Cells are self-duplicating, means they can make their own duplicate copies. And plant cells are totipotent. What is the meaning for totipotent? That is the ability of a plant cell to produce a whole new individual, a whole new organism from any part of the plant body. The cell may be excised from any part of the plant body. That may be the part of root, stem, leaf, or flower. The cell of any part of the plant body can generate into a new entire plant body. That is nothing but the totipotency. Okay. Then cell in living organism. Basically, there are two types of cells in living organisms. I think you have studied in 8, 9, 10th classes. There are two different types of cells present in living organisms. That one is prokaryotic cell and another is eukaryotic cell. What is the meaning for prokaryotic cell? Primitive cell, undeveloped cell, cell which is present in bacteria and cyanobacteria, is called as prokaryotic cell. Pro for primitive and karyon for nucleus. That is the primitive type of cell that is called as prokaryotic cell. And this prokaryotic cell is observed that cell is the prokaryotic cell which is present in primitive organisms, undeveloped organisms. And the second type of cell that is called as eukaryotic organism. That eukaryotic cell is the advanced cell or well-developed cell, and all plants and animals, they are characterized by presence of eukaryotic cell. Then come to the next point. In detail, we are going to study about the structure of a prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. But before that, you just listen. What about the size, shape of cell in general? Actually, in case of size and shape, The cells are greatly vary. The smallest cell, that is of mycoplasma, which is measured about 0.1 to 0.3 micron in length. Then after that, somewhat larger than mycoplasma cell is the bacterium cell, which is measured about 3 to 5 microns. Then largest cell of egg of an ostrich, that is measured about 17 into 13 centimeter. This is the largest cell of whole living world. Then human RBCs, 7 micron in diameter. Neurocell is the largest cell. Egg of an ostrich is the largest cell, but a neurocell is the longest cell. And the neurocell of giraffe is measured about more than 1 meter or 90 centimeter in man or human being. So this is about the size of the cell. Smallest cell of mycoplasma, largest cell of egg of an ostrich, longest cell of a neurocell. The next come to the shape of the cell. In case of shape, the cells are also vary. They may be oval shaped, they may be columnar, column-like, they may be cuboidal, cube-like, they may be thread-like, filamentous cells, they may be irregular shaped, like the shape of amoeba cell, and they may be the disc-like, like the shape of RBCs. Means in case of shape, the cells are vary in living organisms. Polygonal shape. Different types of shapes are present in livings. Then come to first type of cell, that is the prokaryotic cell. And just I have told prokaryotic, that is nothing but the primitive type of cell, not well developed. Not well developed means in this type of cell, the nucleus is not covered by nuclear membrane. And the next characteristic feature, false nucleus is there, not well developed nucleus is there. And in addition to that, the prokaryotic cell shows absence of all the types of cell organelles. I think you know the names of cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, lysosomes, vacuole, centrioles. Such a type of cell organelles is totally absent from prokaryotic cell, and that's why it is a simple cell and not well developed cell. Where it is present? So this type of cell is present in primitive organisms like bacteria, cyanobacteria, and mycoplasma. They are characterized by presence of prokaryotic cell. Then just I have told the size and shape of this prokaryotic cell. In case of size, the prokaryotic cell may having different type. For example, I think you know about the shape of bacterium cells. Bacteria are the prokaryotic organisms. And you know about the bacterium cells. These bacterium cells of rod shaped, they are called as bacilli, or one single one is called as bacillus. They may be of spherical shape. They are called as cocci. They may be of comma shaped. They are called as vibrios. They may be of spiral shaped. You may call them spirula. Yes, one single one is called as a spirulum. So rod shaped bacteria, spherical bacteria, comma shaped bacteria, spiral shaped bacteria. These are the different forms, yeah, shape of bacterium or prokaryotic cell. Then what about the structure of a bacterium cell? I think you have studied in previous years. These prokaryotic cells are very simple and they are covered by a cell envelope. Cell envelope, that is nothing but the cell covering, and that cell covering in prokaryotic cell is consist of cell wall. So all prokaryotes, they are characterized by presence of a outermost covering, that is nothing but the cell wall. I think you know the difference between the structure of plant cell and animal cell. Both are the eukaryotic cell, but there is one basic difference between them is plant cell having cell wall and animal cells totally lack the cell wall. About plant cell wall consists of a chemical that is consist of cellulose, and another chemical is called as pectin. In the same way, prokaryotic organisms, they are also characterized by presence of cell wall, but their chemical components are different. In case of prokaryotic cell wall consists of a chemical that is called as peptidoglycan, or which is also called as murine or muramic acid. There is a chemical that is called as murine or muramic acid, which is present in the cell wall of prokaryotic cell. So what about the function of that cell wall? That is responsible to provide a definite shape to the bacterium cell, yet prokaryotic cell. That is responsible to provide a support, a protection to the bacterium cell. Yeah, this cell wall separate the cells